First at 5. From the University of Florida's College of Journalism and Communications, you're watching WUFT News.
A Gainesville man is dead following a late-night shooting in the Pine Ridge neighborhood. Good evening. It's Tuesday, May 12th. I'm Molly Robinson.
And I'm Marie Edinger. Thanks for joining us. The Gainesville Police Department received numerous 911 calls, and the shooter has yet to be found. Jonathan Munoz joins us now in the studio. Jonathan, you went to that neighborhood earlier today. How are people reacting?
Well, Molly Marie, the neighborhood has really rallied around the family, and they were all grieving the loss of somebody who was a friend, a son, and a father. The man is 37-year-old James Rentz, also nicknamed JoJo. The picture, yesterday, his friends just want justice.
At about 10:16 last night, Gainesville police officers responded to calls about shots being fired in the area of Pine Ridge in the northwest area of Gainesville. When police arrived, they located 37-year-old James Rentz on the ground with gunshot wounds. He was immediately rushed to Shands, where he died.
And as you can see behind me, neighbors, friends, and family gathered around to show support for James's memory, as well as show support for the family that he's leaving behind.
Today, family members, friends, and neighbors all gathered around his apartment to pay homage to Rentz. As part of the neighborhood,
Cookout king, he always have him cook out, inviting the whole neighborhood. He fed the whole neighborhood. That's one thing he gonna be well known for, throwing plenty parties and having plenty cookout for the neighborhood.
As a dear friend,
people that know JoJo, because he would do the same for y'all. He would do the same.
And a loving father.
Me and the kids love him. He already know that. We love him. We just want him to look over us in heaven.
James's mother, Annie Pearl Rentz, however, too broken up to speak with anyone.
An account is being set up at the TD Bank for donations, and Rentz's mother and his burial proceedings. Further plans for a similar account is in the works, this time for his 6 children. Investigators are still searching for the shooter, and anyone with information is asked to call the Gainesville Police Department.
Thanks, Jonathan. An update on the George Zimmerman story we had for you yesterday. Police in Lake Mary, Florida say Zimmerman flagged down a police car and told the officer that someone shot at him while he was inside of his truck. Zimmerman received cuts from the shattered car window and was treated and released. According to the police officials, detectives have not spoken with Zimmerman or the suspected shooter, Matthew Apperson.
Our detectives are working diligently to have a very thorough investigation that's impartial, and so they are doing it methodically, and that will take some time. And at this point in the investigation, they are not ready to say whether or not there are any or if there will be any charges filed.
Zimmerman told police he was...
They did, however, recover 2 handguns from Apperson's car and plan to search Zimmerman's vehicle. Investigators say they also recovered a handgun from Zimmerman.
Well, we've had some rainy weather today in some places. I know I just barely escaped the rain.
UF forecaster Rebecca Kopelman joins us now from the weather studio. Rebecca, when will these storms end?
Molly Marie, most areas will be dry by about 10 o'clock this evening, but there are still storms out there right now. And if we could jump into radar, I'd like to show you this cell over Ocala, or just north of Ocala rather, is nearly stationary and is producing a lot of rain, some lightning overhead. And there's a cell even further south in the extreme southeastern Marion County that's producing quite a bit of lightning and some heavy rainfall. In Gainesville right now, we are clear, but there was a cell earlier over the airport, and it reported nearly an inch of rain over the last hour. And there's also a cell in Lafayette County that is producing quite a bit of lightning and some heavy rainfall there. And as I mentioned, these cells are stationary, but most areas will be dry by about the 10 o'clock hour. Could linger a little bit longer near the west coast and in Lafayette County. But this evening, temperatures will start to drop into the upper 60s, but not the last chance of rain this week. I'll let you know when you need the umbrellas in my main weather forecast. Back to you.
Thanks, Rebecca. The cleanup continues in the East Texas town of Van, where a tornado Sunday killed 2 people and left a wide path of destruction. Texas Governor Greg Abbott has declared Van Zant County a disaster area. Today, emergency management officials confirmed that a retired police lieutenant and his wife are the 2 people killed in the storm. and the last 2 people who had been reported missing are safe.
As of right now, all the unaccounted victims are accounted for. The last ones were located last night at a down on the Gulf Coast. They had gone down there for vacation and didn't realize that they had been reported missing.
The National Weather Service confirmed the storm had winds in excess of 140 miles per hour. The storm path was almost 10 miles long and 700 yards wide.
Rescue crews today saved a trapped manatee in Fort Lauderdale. The young 400-pound sea mammal got stuck in a water pump. Officials say Public Works employees found her during a routine check of the storm drain, and getting her out was no easy task. Officials say she was stuck in about 10 feet of water. 15 firefighters worked to push her onto a crane after draining some of the water. The manatee did come out with a few minor injuries, but she's being treated by a veterinarian and is expected to fully recover at the Miami Seaquarium.
And last Thursday, surgeons at a Jacksonville hospital performed a successful separation of conjoined twins who were fused at the belly and lower chest. The operation lasted 12 hours, and as Jacob Long reports, it was an intensely emotional experience for the family.
I'm very anxious. I just want to go in the room and just be there, but I can't.
We are talking about a young set of parents who did not plan on getting pregnant, and then to find out that their unborn children were facing unthinkable circumstances, a situation so rare it requires a surgery that has never been done before in Jacksonville.
The what ifs and the could be's and the, the worst things that could happen. That's what I'm afraid of,
It takes a certain kind of strength to keep it together through something like this, but the thing that you have to know about this family, strength runs in their blood.
I got up at 3 o'clock this morning. I'm completely exhausted, but the energy from everything going on has kept us all awake and kept us all going throughout the day.
So now it is about 10:30 in the morning, and the surgical team just came in here and updated us that all of the lines are in, and the pre-operation stuff kind of went very, very well. Every single time the surgical team would come back into the room with another update, there was fear and uncertainty on everyone's face. The room was incredibly tense.
I just want my whole family together. That's bottom line for me. I just want my whole family together.
But then there was relief.
You have 2 baby boys.
When the word finally came.
The boys are too freaking strong, man. Told you everything would go good. I freaking knew it.
So it is now just a little after 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and a couple of minutes ago we actually found out that Carter and Connor are separate for the very first time ever. The doctor came in the room and gave everyone an update, and it was such a cool moment. Obviously it's very emotional, and everyone here is still kind of running on that adrenaline right now.
Still a little nervous because we don't know the details of everything. I think so. But to know that they have finally been separated and they're stable.
God has been looking out after these boys.
Wow, it's just like a load has been lifted off so much.
But now begins a whole new journey. Carter and Connor living life apart.
It's crazy that next time we see them, they're going to be separated.
A representative with Wolfson Children's Hospital in Jacksonville said Carter and Connor are in critical but stable condition. They'll stay at the hospital for at least a month, but the chief surgeon said he expects the twins to recover and lead normal lives.
Big business news today. Verizon has announced it's buying AOL for $4.4 billion. In a statement, CEO Lowell McAdams said the goal is to provide customers with a premium digital experience based on a global multi-screen network platform. AOL will become a wholly owned subsidiary of Verizon and will keep CEO Tim Armstrong as its leader. The deal is expected to close this summer. Verizon's bid offers $50 a share for AOL, and its stock soared after the deal was announced.
WUFT News First at 5 is just getting started. Coming up, another quake hits Nepal just weeks after one left thousands dead in the country. Now a U.S. military helicopter has gone missing there. We'll have more on that up next.
Plus, President Obama is talking about poverty and what churches can do to help. Those stories and more coming up after the break. We'll be right back.
You're watching WUFT TV News.
Nepal has been hit by another earthquake. This one today killed at least 42 people. The major earthquake hit a remote mountain region between Kathmandu and Mount Everest, triggering landslides and toppling buildings.
We all dived under tables, and the shaking just seemed to go on and on and on. Everyone was very shaken up. We got out as quickly as we could as soon as it was safe, and the earth outside as the aftershocks were hitting just felt like you were on a boat above a rough sea.
Meanwhile, a U.S. military helicopter has disappeared while on a humanitarian relief mission to help earthquake victims there. As many as 8 people are believed to be on board the missing Marine helicopter. Officials say the chopper disappeared about 10 p.m. in eastern Nepal. Military officials say they don't know why the chopper went missing, and the incident is under investigation.
And every Tuesday, we like to bring you the latest in political news.
WUFT's own Danny Mathio joins us now. Danny?
Today, President Obama spoke at Georgetown University concerning the issue of poverty and how churches can help. President Obama is urging liberals and conservatives to unite to solve the problem of growing poverty in our nation that's become a focus since the Baltimore riot. Steve Handelsman has the latest from Washington.
Darlene Hunter is the face of poverty in America, raising 2 daughters in Southeast Washington on an income, she says, of just $1,000 a month. How hard is that to do?
It's a struggle. I mean, take care of my kids by myself.
$12,000 a year is deep poverty, plaguing more than 3 million U.S. kids. But 45 million Americans found the U.S. Census in 2013 were below the poverty line of $23,000 a year for a family of 4. President Obama today tried to highlight the continuing problem.
We have been able to lessen poverty when we decide we want to do something about it.
He's pushed $7 billion to improve neighborhoods. But Baltimore was a reminder the poverty, unemployment, frustration cycle still plagues our nation. Blaming Congress today were liberals like New York's mayor.
There's not a serious effort being made to actually pass the legislation that would address the circumstance.
Like providing cheaper mass transit. But short term, high school's about to end for millions of kids.
And so we can't go and listen to young people saying they desperately need summer jobs and not find a way to create some.
President Obama said lots of local programs have worked.
We just haven't figured out how to scale them up.
Darlene Hunter, she says she's not getting help from any government program. I'm Steve Handelsman, NBC News, Washington.
The declared GOP candidates for president often warn of waste and abuse in government programs, and that handouts for the able-bodied tend to breed dependency. Ben Carson stressed economic themes at a weekend event in South Carolina, saying many people are not seeing the recovery. Secretary of State John Kerry today met with Russian President Vladimir Putin. Kerry arrived in Sochi early this morning, marking his first visit to Russia since the crisis in Ukraine began last year. During meetings, Kerry and Russian officials will discuss issues including the war in Syria and conflict in Ukraine. Tensions between Washington and Moscow have been high since the West accused Russia of arming rebels in eastern Ukraine and sending troops there. A spokesperson for President Putin described Kerry's visit as a positive step, adding the Russian leader was ready for extensive talks. Former Florida Governor Jeb Bush says a stronger Christian voice is needed in the world. Bush delivered the commencement address Saturday at Liberty University, which was founded by the late Reverend Jerry Falwell. Bush criticized the Obama administration for using what he called coercive federal power to limit religious freedom.
And as usual, the President administration is supporting the use of coercive federal power. What should be easy calls in favor of religious freedom have instead become an aggressive stance against it. Somebody here is being small-minded and intolerant, and it sure isn't the nuns, ministers, and laymen and women who ask only to live and practice their faith.
Bush told the graduates that good instincts, fair-mindedness, and an easygoing spirit are American characteristics that cut across religion, race, and other divisions. He said that's a lot of common ground to work with if the aim is to accept differences rather than exploit them. Ladies, Marco Rubio got a strong bounce in the poll after his presidential bid announcement, but his mentor Jeb Bush is still holding off, but he is trying other outlets and is continuing to fundraise.
You know, there are so many GOP candidates who have already announced their bid. I wonder if and when Jeb Bush will announce his.
Yep, that's something we're still waiting to hear, but it hasn't come out yet, so we'll see when that happens.
Luckily, it's only 2015, so he does have a little more time to announce, but thank you, Danny. Now, these high spring temperatures that we've been seeing is making North Florida feel more like summer.
That's right. Rebecca, will we get to see a break from this heat soon?
A cold front is actually moving through the United States and has dropped temperatures in some areas, but it's not going to do the same for us. I'll let you know what this front will do for North Florida's weather after the break. Showers and storms are moving through North Florida right now, but unfortunately, the rest of my 6-day includes a chance for rain. Welcome back. I'm UF forecaster Rebecca Kopelman, and still people seeing some stormy conditions right now. Gainesville is in the clear, and so is Ocala, but other areas experiencing some heavy rainfall and frequent lightning. But a lot of these cells are starting to weaken. The one north of Ocala, just near the Marion County-Alachua County border, is weakening and sitting overhead, nearly stationary, a lot of these cells, as well as the one in Lafayette County that is just to the southwest of Mayo. That is still producing some lightning and some rainfall. And over the past 10 minutes, about 400 lightning strikes occurring. That's mainly due to this cell that is in southeastern Marion County. But here, most areas are going to be dry by about 10 o'clock tonight. Still could see a lingering shower here in Gainesville until about 8 o'clock and could linger near Cedar Key and in Levy County until 10 o'clock. And that cell in Ocala will start to fall apart closer to 10. And then this evening things will dry out and cool down, but right now in areas where we have seen rain, temperatures did fall. We rebounded a bit here in Gainesville, 82 degrees, but 73 in Ocala due to the cloud cover and the rainy conditions, 92 in Valdosta, 94 in Tallahassee where they haven't seen rain yet today. And then those temperatures will fall into the upper 60s, quite muggy out there, 67 in Gainesville, 65 in Lake City, 68 in Ocala for those Wednesday morning lows. And then we're back in the 90s once again, 91 in Gainesville, 94 in Lake City, 87 in Jacksonville, and 81 in St. Augustine, a bit cooler along the coast. But once again, tracking that chance for showers and storms. The sea breeze is moving inland after the 1 o'clock hour. Then a few scattered showers, possibly some thunderstorms in Levy County by the 3 o'clock hour. And the sea breezes could possibly collide, unlike they did today, near the I-75 corridor. That could be the source of some strong thunderstorm activity right around your drive time, your evening commute. So definitely take it slow on the roadways. That will all start to fall apart though by the 8 o'clock hour. And I mentioned that cold front before the break. It is approaching the area, but it's not going to be moving through. It's going to stall overhead. That's going to help enhance the sea breezes each and every day this week. And on Thursday, I think rain chances go down a bit because of a strong easterly flow. So most of that darker green and that moisture is to our north and west, and that's where the greater chance for rain will be on Friday. Slightly higher chances because of that moisture overhead area wide. And then on Saturday, some of the models indicating a strong easterly flow once again, but I think that there will be higher rain chances here in Gainesville on Saturday. So for Wednesday, mainly between 3 and 9 o'clock, 91 degrees for that high. Lower rain chances on Thursday, but they increase Friday and Saturday. We get a slight reprieve from the rain on your Monday. Back to you.
Thanks, Rebecca. Well, the Florida Gators women's tennis team is off to Waco, Texas to take on Oklahoma State.
The Gators defeated Georgia Tech this past weekend to advance to the round of 16 in the NCAA tournament. Our sports anchor Jonathan Perez joins us now with more. Jonathan?
Molly Marie, the Gators played Oklahoma State last year in the tournament, and they came away with a win. When we come back, I'll tell you what their head coach said about the match. Stay with us. Sports is next. Welcome back to Sports. I'm Jonathan Perez. The Florida Gator women's tennis team continues to play in the postseason as they travel to Waco, Texas this weekend for the round of 16 of the NCAA tournament. The number 5 Gators are coming off a sweep over Georgia Tech this past weekend and now will play number 15 Oklahoma State on Friday. Florida is 7-0 against Oklahoma State and are 2-0 against them in NCAA play. Last year, the Gators and Oklahoma State faced off in the second round of the NCAA tourney. Florida came out on top 4-1. Head coach Roland Thornquist says this year it's going to be very different.
You know, they have a couple new kids who are outstanding. there is not one single matchup that's the same from last year. So it's going to be like a new match. They've got a young team, big hitters.
The match gets underway at 5 o'clock on Friday. We were formally introduced to the new head basketball coach of the Gators yesterday, Mike White. The 4-year head coach from Louisiana Tech will take over the reins from Billy Donovan as head coach, but he isn't coming here alone.
Jordan Mincy, Darius Nichols, and Kyle Church will all do a terrific job. And Dusty May is left behind interviewing for that Louisiana Tech head job. He's very, very well deserving, a terrific, terrific coach, a great person, and we wish him the best.
White is bringing over 3 members of his coaching staff from Louisiana Tech, all 3 of them keeping the same position. Darius Nichols and Jordan Mincy, both 28, will join the Gators as assistant coaches, and Kyle Church is the Gators' new director of basketball operations. Both Nichols and Mincy were point guards when they played college ball. Nichols played at West Virginia, while Mincy played at Kent State. White also said yesterday he'll be bringing over Dusty May from Louisiana Tech if he does not become the new head coach for the Bulldogs. In the NHL playoffs, the Tampa Bay Lightning will again look to close their series against the Canadiens tonight. The Lightning still lead 3-2 after dropping their last 2 games of the series. Tampa Bay will be without top winger Ryan Callahan, who underwent an appendectomy yesterday. If Tampa does not secure the win today, the series goes back to Montreal for Game 7. Tom Brady's agent says he expects Brady will appeal his suspension for Deflategate. The investigation found Brady was likely involved and did not fully cooperate. Yesterday, the NFL announced punishment for the Patriots, their 4-time Super Bowl champ, and a pair of staffers. The league suspended Brady for 4 games and ordered indefinite suspensions for the 2 staffers accused of deflating the footballs to help Brady in the AFC Championship game. To punish the team, the league ordered a fine of $1 million, the loss of a first-round pick in 2016, plus a 4th-round pick in 2017. Molly Marie, if the suspension stands at 4 games, his first game back will be against the Colts.
So that suspension is due Thursday. The appeal is due Thursday. That's a pretty quick turnaround. And so if he does submit it by Thursday, will that help him to get his suspension reduced?
It could, yeah. A lot of people are saying that the suspension could be reduced to 2 games. If he does that, his first game back will be against the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Well, thank you, Jonathan. Well, it seems like these storms are here to stay.
When we come back, Rebecca will have one last check on the radar to see if we'll have any sunny skies this week. A Texas man hit the jackpot at an estate sale this weekend when he bought a walnut chest of drawers that was hiding gold, silver, and antique jewelry. Emil Nodell loves to find bargains at estate sales. He knew he had one when he got a handcrafted walnut chest with a marble top for less than $100. But the real surprise came when he went to take it with him. Turns out the chest had a hidden drawer containing not only jewelry, but coins, paper money, stamps, Civil War medals, and other trinkets. But Nodell doesn't plan to keep his treasure chest. He asked the estate sale company to contact the previous owner's son to deliver the chest to him.
It was really nice that he decided to give that back. But before we go, let's take one last check on the weather. Rebecca?
Just one quick look at radar right now. Gainesville is in the clear and just northern Marion counties where there is some activity, but it will start to wind down, as well as that cell in Lafayette County by about 10 o'clock tonight. The rest of your 6-day forecast, unfortunately, a stormy one tomorrow, 3 to 9, the best chance for rain. Back to you.
Thanks, Rebecca, and thank you at home for watching WUFT First at 5, a production from UF's Innovation News Center.
We'll see you again tomorrow, same time, same place, and don't forget, WUFT News is always on at WUFT.org. BBC World News is coming up next. Good night.